The issue with interest rates comes down to us. Earlier today, the Reserve Bank of Australia increased the cash rate by 0.5% again. This was very widely expected, and it's the fourth month in a row where it shot up from a historical low of 0.1% only a few months back, and is now at 1.85%. It also doesn't seem to be the last one either. The main buzzword as to what this is all about is inflation, which is a big part of the reason why these rates are increasing, but there's another side of the story which isn't being talked about as much. That side of the problem is us. Stick around for the whole video and I promise to explain to you why. This new channel was created to give you important finance and business info with no BS, because I'm into all that boring stuff so you don't have to be. It would be great to help me get started with a quick like and subscribe so I can grow and do more of this. Firstly, a very quick economic lesson which will all tie in together. Notice how pretty much everything is becoming more expensive now? Well, this is known as inflation, and it's becoming a huge problem. Inflation is good, too much inflation is not so good. Inflation is also caused from a lot of other things, including supply chain problems, COVID-19, lockdowns, to the point of bad weather hurting food production, or higher home prices and the war in Ukraine. In theory, central banks increase interest rates to decrease inflation, which is what they're doing. Make sure that stays in your head. Last week, the US Central Bank increased their rates from 1.75% to 2.5%. The week before, inflation was also recorded at 9.1% for them. Just to let you know, they target the 2% mark. Firstly, with inflation. Last week, the annual inflation in Australia hit 6.1%, the highest since 2001. As I said before, to lower inflation, they increase interest rates. It then feeds through, so people have less money to spend because their mortgages and their repayments have gone up, and in turn, the economy cools down a little. They need to do this because if the prices of things keep going, everything will crash because people simply can't afford anything anymore. But there's also another side which has to do with how we compete in the entire global market with our currency, and this I can hardly find any information of. At the moment, the US dollar is at an extreme high. By extreme high, I mean we haven't seen the US dollar this strong for like 20 years, which is kind of great for them. That's probably another video. Conversely, the Australian dollar is more and more weak against the US dollar, mainly because theirs is going so strong. Think of this kind of thing as the choice with what you want to do with your money. Here's you. You've got your pile of money and you're deciding where to put it. It's your own investment. You can put it in the US with a lot of other people. Their dollar's going strong. They're the largest economy in the world. They deal with pretty much every other country. They've just raised their interest rates, so you'll be able to get more money too. It just keeps going up. So why wouldn't you want to put it with them? But this is the other side, where Australia worries about people pulling their money out of Australia and joining you to put them in the US. To keep up, Australia needs to look better, so they need to increase their rates too, and do whatever they can to get those people to stay. If they don't, the Australian dollar keeps going down, probably faster than it is already. When our dollar gets lower, then it becomes more expensive to import things. And that reminds me of that I word. Things get more expensive to import things, which means inflation is getting more and more out of hand. The longer it goes on, the more of a chance the whole economy will just crumble. Just like before, people simply won't be able to afford anything if that happens. So in conclusion, by us, I'm talking about the US. Australia seems to be forced to follow the US with their rate rises, because if we don't, our dollar's going to get more and more low against a currency that's at absolute highs. If that happens, things become a massive problem and could crumble us. Just a thought.